Underground radio.
What does it mean to be underground? It means you gotta be free to be underground. Yo, you got your own key when you're underground. If you're listening to me, yo, you underground.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back from a long weekend if you're here in Canada. Actually, there's a few places that have had long weekends. So welcome back. I hope everyone had a restful, long weekend, an enjoyable weekend, and just like did the things. So here, I don't know about any other places, but we've had smoke affecting us from BC and further north in Alberta. So it's really hard to enjoy summer when there's smoke coming through, but that's okay. We all kind of powered through it, did our things and whatever. I spent some time at the mall on the weekend, did some shopping, had some fun. So enjoyed some sun the other day. You know, you just kind of have to enjoy it in little pieces, I find. So hopefully everyone's doing good, ready to start the week, ready to start August. So this August, what I'm going to do is probably be ending season 12 because season 12 has lasted forever. Just if you go back, I know I think it must have been a whole year of season 12, I swear. So I need to end season 12 at some point, which will be the end of August, and then take a little time off. And then I will be resuming season 13, probably closer to the end of September, but no promises because I've had guests come on just out of the blue asking to come on. So I'm trying to get everyone in, and then I've got people backlogged as well. So we're trying to make the best of everything, but hopefully we'll all get caught up. So it's all great and wonderful. Hope you guys have your cup of coffee and you're sitting here ready to just dive in and have some fun with us. We're going to just have a kind of a quick conversation. We'll be here for about a half an hour, diving into Preethi back. So this is a welcome back segment. You can kind of see with my little ticker at the bottom saying welcome back. So guests that have been on before, I like to do kind of a welcome back segment where they get to come back and tell me a little bit about, you know, what they've been working on, whether they've been in music and they've got, you know, if you missed or caught the album listening party just a little while ago, we did the same thing, you know, kind of a welcome back. This is what they're up to, what's going on. Some people that have been on my show before, you know, they do multiple things, whether they are writing books or they're in business and they've got new things coming out. I like to discuss that because it's cool and it's exciting to see what the changes are and what's happening. So that's kind of why this stream isn't fully everywhere. It's going to be on a few multiple platforms that are more business orientated. So because my guest is of business. So without further ado, we will welcome in Preethi to the show. Welcome. Welcome. I hope you have your coffee. I don't have coffee. I have water. I'm not ready for coffee just yet. It's still a bit early, but I'm not a really early morning coffee drinker. I like to have it kind of midday. How about you?
No, so I think, more a tea person. So I'm a tea in the morning person. Coffee probably in the evenings, but yeah, not an everyday thing.
No, me neither. Not an everyday thing. So what kind of tea do you like? What's your go-to?
Mostly my morning teas are like the Indian style of tea with ginger and everything to it. So it's more the masala chai, the Indian version.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good because when you bring culture into your day, you start with that, then it's kind of cool, kind of a neat thing to do. So awesome. That's amazing to do that. So we're going to start off with, we're going to do another quick little intro just for those that maybe have missed your interview, because I think it was probably almost a year ago that you were on last.
Yes.
So let's do a kind of quick little intro again, and maybe just kind of state a little bit about, you know, why you're on today, and then we'll go into more of the nitty gritties. Okay, so take it away. Take it away, Sam.
So now I think that last time I spoke, I'm not sure if I was doing all of what I'm doing today. Things have changed a little bit. So now I am more by day, I help solopreneurs and small businesses grow through like stronger systems and people strategy. But by night, I am also a children's author creating value centered stories inspired by the Indian Hindu mythology. So those are like two different things that I currently do.
She does everything. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's good to hear because, again, those that haven't seen you before or caught our last episode can kind of get a grasp of what you do. So today we're going to dive into a little bit about obviously what you are doing and some systems and kind of like, okay, what you can bring to an audience or those in business that can really use your services. So however you kind of want to start with that, maybe an intro to how you got into it. Let's do that. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so basically, like I said, now I do help solopreneurs and small businesses with what I call like bringing about ease in their business. Because as solopreneurs and small businesses, when we find like when we are the ones who are the founders of the company, the CEO, you happen to be the one doing everything in your business, from administration to marketing to client facing to all of it. And so that's the area I come in and help. So a little bit of the backstory as to why I'm doing what I'm doing today is, I think I was, so for me, leadership and business lessons did not start in college or university. It started back in my house when I was a child, because my dad was a solopreneur back then, probably even before that word was used. And when I was, I think, in grade 4 or 5, I remember an incident where we heard like some sound commotion outside our house. Me, my mom, and my brother ran out to see what was happening. And what I saw then kind of stayed with me is I saw my dad like collapse at the entrance of our house at our gate and with a slip disc. And this was after he had a massive successful order. So he was in the manufacturing space, and this was a huge order that he had received that took him across India. And he had successfully executed and delivered the order. But then when he came back, he collapsed at the front of our house. So this kind of stayed with me. Back then, of course, I did not understand management or leadership. But then what stayed with me is that there is a cost for success. When you succeed, there is a cost you have to pay to it. And then over the years, like 15, 16 years in corporate across India, UK, and Canada, what I learned is most leaders and entrepreneurs are stuck in the cycle of doing everything themselves, and they burn out. And when all of it stays on one person, the effect of it does not just land on the business, but it lands on the person holding it all together. And so in what I'm doing today is helping people like my dad find that sustainable success without them burning out in the process.
Yeah, because I think myself, even as an entrepreneur or solopreneur, as you put it, we are consistently doing everything behind the scenes. Many people don't understand, like even for myself too, I'm not always reaching out to guests. Now it's more or less the guests reach out to me. But back in the earlier stages when I was doing this in probably 2020, there were times where I had to reach out to people and go, hey, would you like to come on the show? Would you be interested? So sometimes I do put a little, like if I'm connecting with someone and they tell me what they're doing because they're trying to sell me their services, which is great and all. However, I'm not quite at that point where I need somebody in finances or I need this or I need that. I'm not a huge multi-million-dollar company or a bigger company that needs someone behind the scenes just yet. Maybe if I had 2 or 3 people working for me, then I would slowly be introducing something into the business where it's like, okay, I need this or I need that. However, what I am finding is that because I'm doing multiple things at once, the workload can be because I make the posters and I'm posting it up and I'm doing all that back end work. Also asking all of the clients that are coming on, hey, can you send me photos? Can you send me your bio? Can we, this, that. However, if part of that perhaps was automated of like the asking, okay, could you please send your picture and bio and links and stuff? If that was automated, that would probably help. And or if I had someone in the back end being able to take care of the social media aspect, that would be something. And then I would probably need someone that were, creating the posters. However, I love it. So I don't know about that yet. But anyway, so those are, I know already, just, and that's, and I'm not a big business. So even then I could use, a few hands on deck going, okay, I can help with this and I can help with that and help with that. So first of all, we have a few people joining in here as well saying hello. So good morning. We've got a Justin Gomez in here and a Jonathan. So good morning to you on LinkedIn, folks. Hope you guys are doing good. So if you guys have any questions along the way, please feel free to put them in and we'll get around to those. So so I do understand like there is a workload that some people do not see behind the scenes, where you do understand the bigger businesses and corporations that, maybe they're bigger banks or they're, high-end warehouses or retail stores. And you can see, oh yeah, there's a lot of people working there. But even for our smaller companies, doing everything ourselves, there is quite the workload. And then getting into the burnout, I tell you, there are days where I'm just like, I don't even know if I can just, I'm like, I just need 10 more minutes in bed and then I can manage with the day, right? So it can be a lot. Take us through a little bit about, how you want to help people a little bit more, like you said, the workload. What do you think the biggest issue has been for people when it comes to the workload? Like I kind of mentioned a few things, but what other things are you really seeing out there that people really need the help with?
So I basically talk of like three different workloads, right? When I speak about things, is one is the decision load. So if you're that person who has to make every decision in the organization, right? Like maybe it's a small thing. Should I send this email? Should I post this on social media? To maybe what should I invoice or what should I do next in terms of client acquisition? So all these decisions, if whether they are big or small, every single decision you have to do has that amount of the decision fatigue in your brain, because you have to step away from what you're currently doing, think about the decision, and then come up with the decision. And then the next one I talk about is the mental load. So the decision load and all the other things on your to-do list, they all lead to that mental load, because everything you have to do depends on you to take a decision, depends on you to remember things, because when you don't have systems or when you don't have things documented, everything relies on your memory. And then the third one I talk about is the responsibility load, because when all of this is dependent on you, the outcome of it is also dependent on you, right? Like you make a decision, like if it goes wrong, it's on you. If it goes right, it's on you. So that responsibility load. So I typically talk of this decision, mental, and responsibility load that all founders carry. And even like you said, small things like certain decisions, if you can automate them or if you can empower your team to do those decisions on your behalf, then that reduces that load on you. And the same thing with having like systems and processes, like even for Cari, like you said, you do follow up on photographs, you follow up on bios, you follow up on these things for your podcast. So maybe if you automate that side of it, maybe have like a Google form or some Jot form or something where people, where anybody signs up with you, you just send them the form, they have to fill up the form, and the form has all these questions that you ask. They have an option to put your bio there, they have an option to upload their photograph, then it becomes easier for you. So maybe some of those things. So what I currently do for the clients that I support are, for some of them, I help with the system side of things. So automate things, create SOPs for them. And in some cases, it's like I manage their social media for them. For some cases, it's the entire back-end operations for some people who are like, say, coaches and speakers. So their entire back-end operations, manage their CRM, manage their client list, manage all the onboarding of new clients and all of that. That's kind of how I support my clients today.
Yeah, which is amazing because it's kind of like, in a way you look at it, it's sort of like secretarial work that we were all kind of brought up with in that era of like, okay, we've got the corporation and then there's somebody at the front desk who's doing the secretary work of booking and putting things out there, making the phone calls and all that. So it's changed a little bit now that, we don't even have to pick up a telephone anymore to reach out to anyone. Well, I mean, you don't have to call them. We pick up our phones and we connect in a different way using our phones that way, which is, unheard of back then. But I think it's interesting how, the AI that is coming into play nowadays. I mean, this has been a conversation that's been floating over the internet probably for the last few years about AI. And a lot of people are really, it's been a 50-50 of, do I want to use it? Can I trust it? And then the other hand, people are using it left, right, and center like they can't live without it. When you're incorporating the AI into these systems, how have you been finding it? Have you been finding people been using it the right way? Do you think that they need more help with it? What has been your experience so far?
I think especially with AI, like you said, yes, it's a mixed feeling for everybody. But the way I see it is like back in the day when computers was a new thing, right? Like, so if you can use AI in a way that it supports you, like helps you, but then again, like just like you delegate to a human person, if you're asking AI to do anything, you have to be very clear with AI in terms of what are the expectations, what is it that you know, and treat it more like a strategic partner instead of just letting it do its own thing, because so you are the one who has the background, you are the one who has that lived experience, the history, and the way you see it and the way you do it might be different. So using it more for the research side of things, or helping, asking it to do some reports for you or things like that, that then help you with the decision making, help you with the strategy. Using it that way, yes, using AI is helpful. But then if you kind of delegate the whole thing to AI and let AI run it the way it runs, I feel like that's where you're taking a risk, because AI doesn't know you, AI doesn't know your business, AI doesn't understand, and AI mainly does not have that emotional intelligent component which a human has. So those are areas which should be you as a human doing it, and you can use AI as assisting you with certain things. I think doing it that way, then that's the right use of AI.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I've had several conversations about AI saying, how should we be using it and the benefits to it? And there's so many benefits to using it. But again, it's what you're putting it, like the input into the system. Again, what are you asking it to do? Because if you're just putting in a general answer or a general question, it will generate a general answer. So, it's kind of like, well, how many people to put in a light bulb? Well, it'll just say, well, one, whatever. And then you're thinking, well, no, actually maybe two, because maybe they're holding a ladder and maybe this, and maybe you think of all the factors involved, but the computer won't.
Yes. Yeah.
So putting in those factors and going, okay, this, and this. So I wanted to go into the ease equation series. Take us through why you created this, or how it actually came to be in your mind, because I think that's important, of the whys and the hows. I know we kind of touched up a little bit on it, but let's go through, what was that moment of like, I need to create this?
I think for me, it started with, like I said, having seen several of the leaders and entrepreneurs and even like corporate leaders, like go through what they are doing with them doing everything, them trying to hold up a lot of things themselves. I think that's where a lot of this started for me. But then for me, the intention is to create this more like a, so now I have like 2 books and a workbook that's attached to the Ease Equation series, and I'm on the like I'm still writing more in that series is basically because, like, for me, the first book was all about creating ease. It tells you how you build the systems, how you create support, and how you reduce the overwhelm. And like basically you stop relying solely on your own effort. So that's all the theme of the first book is that it's called the ease equation. Systems plus support equals sustainable growth. That's what it's called. And my second book is more about, so first book you've created the ease, but then second book is more about how do you protect that ease. So you've simplified your business, you've removed the unnecessary complexities, and created a calm business, but then made in, so how do you protect it, like those intentional decisions that you do to support your growth. And there is a workbook and templates that go along with the second book. It's called the Calm Business Reset. That's what I call it. And the third book I'm working on is more in terms of, so you've created the ease, you've protected your ease. So next, how do you multiply and expand on that ease that you've built? So that's going to be the third one, which is from you doing everything, you created the ease, and then now you're more like the CEO where you're protecting the ease. But then the third book will be more in terms of multiplying. So it teaches you how to become the designer or become the CEO. So now you're the CEO of your business. So how do you operate as a leader, create that ownership, and create a business that thrives without your constant involvement. So that's going to be my book 3. So that's the series of books that I am writing around the ease equation framework that I follow.
Right? Ease equation sounds like something everyone needs. We want the ease of ownership because it's very, like I said, very difficult when you are doing it solo. There's this, that, the next, the finance. And when you do start a business, some people don't even think about really all the back end stuff of it. They're just excited to launch a business and they're like, oh, maybe they see the money coming in or whatever. They're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to make millions, whatever. But they don't think about all the tiny little steps going into it of like, okay, there's going to be, do I need a team or not? Am I going to do this alone? How big do I want my business? Another thing too was not very many people think about, like, is your business going to be worthy to sell at the end of it as well, like an exit strategy as well. So I don't know if you have that in your books at all, but perhaps that could be something to have in there about, okay, will it be something that I could either pass on or I could sell? Because that might be another strategy that people are like, well, what do I do with it in the end if I don't want the business anymore, or I'm thinking of passing it along through the generations, right? So these are good systems to have in place, because then let's say it does pass down or you do sell it, then you can go, okay, this is the strategy that I had in place. I used the ease equation and I had all these systems in place to help me along the way. And then you're passing that information along to the next person so that they can understand, okay, this is how it was built and then how it's sustainable to be able to keep it running.
I don't explicitly talk about like the exit strategy, but I do talk about building a business where you can step away. You don't have to be in the business for the business to run. So gradually build it in such a way that you can step away and go do something else, and maybe just occasionally oversee and supervise, and still the business runs. And because today, like a lot of us, right, like solopreneurs, like if you take vacation for 3 days, you're still not completely switched off or detached from your business. You're still checking in on emails. You're still doing things even when you're on vacation, because we are afraid that the minute we step away, that something will break here.
Right. Which is, I mean, understandable for some. I think knowing that you're able to step away is very important. Because some people, like you said, we all need, because we get the burnout and we're like, no, we need a holiday, just like we just had a holiday weekend. What did you guys do on holiday weekend? Were you guys checking emails? Were you, contacting people? Were you doing all the things? I mean, I think, Preethi, I only contacted you, I believe, and that was pretty much it, only because we were set up for today. So, but yeah, I was still having to post up things and do all the things. So my vacation weekend, was cut short, but that's okay because I knew I had a responsibility for the next morning. So,
Yeah.
but if I had maybe a system in place and somebody else was doing it, or it was automated where it was like, okay, it checked in, it was like, okay, are we good for tomorrow? Are we set? And someone did the posting, an automated post. See, there you go.
No,
I
because
could have saved all that time. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, like you said, I feel like many of us, like when we start our business, yes, that's the mode we have to be in, and that's how you start and build it. But then when you have to realize that when your business like hits a certain level,
Mm-hmm.
then does not become practical. It's not sustainable for that one person to be doing everything. So that's when you have to realize, okay, no, now I have to stop. I have to figure out which is mine to do, and then delegate the rest either to a human or to another system to do it. Because like you like you said, you feel like, oh, I'm doing so much, I need a break. You take a vacation, you go somewhere, you might physically leave your work, but you're still mentally not leaving your work, because you're still like, oh, when I get back, I have to get to this and this, I have to reach out to that client on this, I have to do this, and I have to run that report, right? So you're
Yeah.
mentally, you're never taking a vacation actually.
No, it's so true. It's so true. Yeah, it's very true. Even, yeah, you call me. Yeah, on the weekend, or if I've got a day off and I'm running around doing errands, or like you said, I just take a day, because some days I like to go maybe paddle boarding or whatever, and it's just kind of like a day off. But I'm still, yeah, going, okay, got to go home, got to check on this, got to do that, whatever.
Yeah.
And we all do it even in everyday life
Mm-hmm.
too, regardless if it's work or if it's just home, because we're the same. Like, we're at work and then we're like, oh, I have to make my grocery list, or I have to pick up kids from school, I have to do this, and it's like a continuous
I
thing.
think it's more of a thing for women also, because we tend to wear these multiple hats, these multiple roles that, yeah, you never really switch off, right?
No, no, we are definitely wired to be multitaskers, which is not a bad thing in itself. The only bad thing is we do need to learn when to turn it off
Mm-hmm.
and take a break for ourselves. So perhaps some of these systems as well can be used for everyday life, which would be very helpful as well. But right now, the business is, we really do need this in place so that, like you said, the burnout can either, there's so many business owners that are just burnt out, but
Mm-hmm.
be able to kind of step away, let things run by itself, I think is so important these days. Because then you, like you said, then you may be able to even be running another business at once, like have a couple businesses going at once,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and that would work if you're doing the systems in place, that would work for a couple businesses, right? Yeah.
So, like I said, I mainly talk on like, first start with clarity, like be clear on what is truly yours to do,
Yeah.
and whatever else is there on your plate that you're currently doing, it has to go. So it has to be delegated either to a human or to a system to do it for you. So, and I think to your point, if you do the same thing even in different aspects of your life, right? Like have clarity on which of these things is me actually having to do it myself, and then have something in place, have a system in place, or like, or for the support in like real life, I'll be like, okay, ask people for help, right? Like you have a family, so maybe ask your partner, ask your children, like assign things to them as support as well. So I think even whether it's your life or your business, like have the clarity, have the systems, and have some human support. I think that's really important.
Absolutely. Delegation is massive. And women have a very hard time to delegate because we are always like the yes people, and we're like, no, we got it. We're we're strong, confident women and independent women. But even though if you're trying to be independent, whatever, that's great. However, everybody needs to ask for help, not just women, but men. We all need help. This is why we're, communities that we're together on, is to be able to work together and be like, okay, how? So when one person has these ideas of like, okay, I can help your business to do better, maybe check into that. Maybe go, hey, Preethi, how do I use this and how do I do that? And then we get some more information on, and don't be shy to be asking these questions, because this is why these things are invented, to be able to help us and get us through every single day. So we're not doing everything. We can take off on a trip somewhere and it will all be just taken care of. And then you can delegate the family to pack the bags. Right? Absolutely. Anything else that you would, well, first of all, take us where we can find your books and the system. So perhaps anybody watching can go and read a little bit about it. And
Yeah,
then,
my books are mostly available on Amazon, and like in Canada, it's available in Indigo, and in the US, it's available in Barnes and Nobles and a few other online places. And also, probably one last thing before I go is to say that many of us think like we are not big enough, or like I'm not at the place to look for help or have systems in place. I would say like start small. Doesn't matter where in the stage of your entrepreneurship you are, because like sometimes it can be just having that one call with somebody who can help you look at your business from another lens. Because sometimes when you're in the business and you're doing it day to day, you may not realize the things that you're doing and the things that you can hand off to somebody else. So I would say maybe start small. And when I also then talk about systems, it can even start with documenting some of those repeatable tasks that you do every day. Because once it's documented, every time you don't have to rely on your memory, rely on your mental capacity to redo it again yourself, even if it's you doing it again. And maybe down the line, you can then pass it on to somebody else to do it as well.
those are some wise words. Thank you. Well, yes, I think take a day and sit down and be writing, okay, what am I doing today? Or what did I just do? And just go, okay, this time to this time I had a meeting, and this time to this time I had this. So you're aware of like exactly what you're doing. And maybe I would say do it for a few days, because our days are different, right? So like some days I'm on air doing stuff, other days I'm posting, other days I'm in meetings or this or that. So it's like, how can whatever. And yes, I do have a form that does ask for it.
So like you said, so typically like for the clients that I'm coaching, that's what I have them do is like track their activities for one whole week, because like
Yes.
each day is different. So track your activities for one whole week, like write down every single task that you're doing. Then end of that week, you can go in and like for each one, be like, I should do it. A system can do it, another person can do it. So then once you categorize that, then you know very clearly like, okay, this I should keep it for myself. And then look at, okay, if I've marked it as a system, like what system can do it? Or if I marked it as a person, like who is the person who can help me do this? I think that's kind of your starting point if you want to audit your own business and figure out the clarity systems and the support.
Nice. Well, thank you. That's pretty specific and pretty easy to do, I would think. Just such a simple thing. But again, we don't think about it. We just carry on everyday lives, and there's so much going on. We're like, oh, I can do this, this, this. But when you step back into, again, the different lens of like, can be categorized into the 3 ways. And then it's like, okay, I don't have to be doing it all. We don't have to. Let's make life easier. Right? Work smarter, not harder, as they say, right? Absolutely. Thank you, Preethi, so much for coming on today, sharing your information on systems and how easy it can actually be for us business owners instead of doing it all. So, maybe I'll take up on a couple of things there and go from there. But yes, have a wonderful day, Preethi, and to all of our friends that are joining us on LinkedIn. Hope you guys have a great day as well. And if you didn't catch this one, you can catch the replay on YouTube anytime. Facebook, it'll be up there for 30 days as usual. So we'll see you guys next time on Connected with Cari on Saturdays. See you then. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.